Hey everyone, Mike here from ArnoldTutoring.com with a good finance question. This is generally found in high school math when you're learning about compound interest. Let's read the question and see what sort of formulas and keys we can pick up on to see how to solve the question. So, if you invest $2,000 at 6% annual interest, compounded monthly, how much will you have in 3.5 years? Okay, so we can tell that this is a money problem. Compound interest, because we see the word compounded. Sometimes this can be a bit confusing the way they word it. We've got the words annual as well as monthly. So when we talk about compound interest, what that really means is if you earn a little bit of interest on some money, which is earned by saving the money, then you earn a bit more interest. Not only are you earning interest on the original amount of money you saved, but you're also earning interest on that first piece of interest. So that's why it's called compound interest, because the effect is being compounded. You're earning money on your interest. But again, we've got this annual and monthly, so it's hard to sort of determine what time periods we're using. But if we follow our general formula, which is P is on the other side, we have, I'll call it A, or your final amount, equals P into 1 plus R over N to the NT. You might have also seen this written as FV equals PV into the same thing, 1 plus R over N to the NT. Those are just different notations. In this one, it would be future value and present value. In this one, it's kind of final amount and principal is what we'll use the P for. So I'm going to stick with this one in red, but you can use either one. Let's take note of what each of these things mean. So like I said, A is sort of your final amount. So after the interest has all been calculated and added on, what are you left with in your account? That's the final amount. P is your principal, we call it. Principal, and that is the amount that you're starting with. So how much you start with in the account. We've got 1 plus R equals the annual rate of interest, and this will always be in decimal form, so we'll often be given it in percentage like we have here, but we want to use our decimal, so we know how to convert percentages to decimal. You just move the decimal to the left twice. N equals the number, so N for number, of times it's compounded per year. So this may seem a little confusing, but this N and T and R are going to help us sort of navigate through the question when we have words like annual and monthly. So number of times it's compounded per year, and then T equals number of years. So let's go through this and fill in our blanks. So we have, I'll use I'll use orange to solve. So we have A, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that final amount because it says how much will you have in a certain amount of time. P is our starting amount, that's 2,000, into 1 plus, what's R? R is our annual rate. So we're told it's invested at 6% annual interest. So annually it's 0.06, that's the decimal form of 6%, divided by N, the number of times it's compounded per year. Well, the interest is compounded monthly, it says. So if it's compounded monthly, that means every month. How many months in a year? 12. So it's going to be compounded 12 times per year. So what this really means is instead of saying 1.06 for each year, it's saying instead of 6% throughout the year, we're going to compound it 0.06% divided by 12, or 0.5% every month. And so that's the equivalent there. N, like we said, is 12 times the number of years is 3.5. Again, if we think about what this new decimal is going to be, this is going to be the number of months in 3.5 years, right? 3.5 times 12. And this 0.06 divided by 12, that's sort of your monthly equivalent rate. So it's not 6% anymore, it's 6% divided by 12, which is 0.5%. So we're compounding 0.5% of interest 12 times 3.5 times. Punch this all into the calculator, so we'll get 2,000 into 1.005. If you do that, 12 times 3.5 is 42. Punch that into the calculator, and you should get a final amount of $2,466 and about 7 cents. Pretty good. So you earned $466 basically in interest just by putting away that $2,000 in an account that earns 6% annual interest compounded monthly. Essentially, as soon as you see an interest question with money, you know that you're going to be using this formula, so get that written down right away. Keep in mind what each of the variables mean and fill in what you need to know. Hopefully you found this helpful. You can always check out arnoldtutoring.com for more videos like this. Thanks so much. Have a great day.